279 votes. So what this means is that Bola Tinubu's APC was able to get 12 states, and the 12 states are Ekiti State, Kwara, Ondo, Ogun State, Oyo, Jigawa, Niger State, Benue, Kogi, Zamfara, Borno State, as well as Rivers State. PDP's Atiku Abubakar, Osun State, Yobe, Gombe, Adamawa, Katsina, Akwa Ibom, Bauchi State, Bayelsa, Kaduna, Kebbi, Sokoto, and Taraba States. Peter Obi's Labour Party, Enugu State, Lagos, FCT, Edo, Abia, Plateau State, Nasarawa, Cross River State, Delta State, Ebonyi State, Anambra, and Imo.
And of course, like we said, Rabi Musa Kwakwaso of the NNP won convincingly Kano. Kano is the only state credited to him. And
no, I just wanted to say, we said 12 states for APC.
12 for Atiku.
12 for Atiku. Then Peter will be 11 states plus the FCT.
Plus the FCT, yes.
Should the FCT be regarded as a state? You know, for those of you that are into law and politics, should the FCT be regarded as a state?
Yes,
or we have
for the purposes of election.
For the purposes of election.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
And of course, immediately after Professor Yaku announced the results, the National Secretariat of the APC, which had served as his collation and situation room, erupted into wide jubilation by party leaders and members, including the man of the moment, the man who had just been pronounced winner of Nigeria's most fiercely contested election yet, Bola Ahmed Tinubu.
Uche, come on your head for them.
We shall stand. On your mandate, we shall stand. On your mandate, we shall stand. On your mandate, on your mandate, on your mandate, we shall stand.
To serve you, be your servant, and not be your leader. To work with you and make Nigeria a great country.
No, I'm okay, but I'm not feeling for my people.
I take this opportunity also again to appeal to my fellow contestants to let us team up together. It is the only nation we have. It is one country that we must build together. We work together to put broken pieces together. We must work for the unity, happiness, and harmony. We must not act like that orchestra that has no direction of a conductor. We will, and we have to name president-elect. Let's collaborate to create a symphony that will make the rhythm of music and prosperity and history for the youth. Let me repeat that I hear you loud and clear. What do I say? Loud and clear. Whatever the cause, we are going to chart the path together. We are going to embark on this journey together, united. No one is too small to be creative. Inshallah, we work together. And we pay attention, undivided attention to your education. We will be creative. Credit will be available. Education loan will be available. 4 years course will be 4 years course. No more strike. Your universities will have their autonomy to be able to upgrade your syllabuses and be creative. No more selling of handouts. They must be authors. They must write and create for the nation. I know where it pains. And believe me, you will see the reward of your election. Thank you very, very much. God bless you.
Oh.
And there you really have it. Nigeria, we have a president-elect. You know what came to my mind being January of last year, January 2022, while Bola Ahmed Tinubu did say, I've been a kingmaker, now I want to be king, when he went to meet the president and informed him of his intention to be president, as well as you know, the vice president. And after that meeting, he came out of the meeting and spoke to journalists. I'm getting something in my ear. That's why it's as if I'm not a bit coherent, because some people, my director is talking to me in my ears. Okay, what I was saying is that after the meeting with the president and the vice president, he came out to speak with journalists and I told them, I've been a kingmaker, now I want to be king. And INEC declared him the president-elect. And
that was where the popular Emiloko came out.
Okay,
which means
yes,
it is my turn.
Yes, I've worked for others. Now I want to be king.
Now I want to make myself
the king. And now he is the president-elect. So there you have it, Nigeria. We will be analyzing the final moment at the INEC Collation Center, the figures, the full implication of what we have now, the useful lessons really to take from these elections.
And of course, we also look more closely at that acceptance speech there by the president-elect, his declaration to reach out to his fellow contestants, his call for peace across the federation, and of course that message of hope to the Nigerian youth Are these enough to calm frayed nerves? We will be looking at all of that. Don't forget that, of course, in a few days' time, Nigerians, of course, will be trooping out again to elect governors in 28 states of the Federation, as well as members of the legislative assemblies in all 36 states of the Federation. So we have a lot to talk about, and of course, we need to have an atmosphere ripe enough and secure enough for that coming election. Of course, there are reactions as well to the results as declared by INEC. So we have those reactions as well, coming mainly from the main opposition parties, Labour, PDP, and all of that. So let's also reach out to the camp of the opposition to be able to bring you these immediate reactions.
Result announced by INEC so far shows monumental disparities between the actual results reported by our party agents, our party members, and indeed millions of Nigerians on election day from the polling units. We are therefore constrained on this development to state that INEC compromised the integrity of the election even before the collation began at the polling units. We also wish to declare a vote of no confidence on the INEC chairman, Professor Mahmood Yakubu, by his conduct and reaction to the complaints of the enfranchised political parties. We believe that he lacks the integrity and moral standing to continue to oversee the process to a conclusion. The People's Democratic Party, Labour Party, ADC, and all other aligned parties shall not be part of the process currently going on at the National Collation Center. And we demand that this sham of an election should be immediately cancelled. We are calling on President Muhammadu Buhari, the Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces, to stand by his promise to transparent and credible elections to the country.
We don't want INEC to turn itself into a dictatorship and destroy the very democracy we've suffered our labor to build over the last 20-something years. We call on the Commission to tread on the path of honor by cancelling the election outright and commence the process of a fresh election that will not only be credible, but that will be seen to be credible by Nigerians. And we are also aware that in Section 26 of the Electoral Act, all INEC officials, including the chairman, are supposed to have sworn to an oath of neutrality and impartiality, and we expect that they should keep to the laws of this nation.
If the government is not truly genuinely elected, you do have a constitutional problem. Now we are witnessing the fact that the next government is going to be built on outright illegality. Now, when everything is at stake, we have the right to deploy all that is legal and constitutional at our means. The promise of INEC chairman to review after declaring a winner is a joke. We will complete this process of illegality, and then we'll go and review and come up with recommendations on how we shall in the next 4 years not breach that illegality again. This is a joke.
Why was it that they could not upload the results? So something is wrong. Something is wrong inside INEC. Either they have connived or their system is down, but they must tell us the truth. If the system was down and they knew it was down, they ought to have postponed the elections. If the system was not down and they did not allow the upload of the results from the units, it means that they have connived and they are no longer neutral and impartial. So under this condition, there is no moral justification for further collation of the results.
We are deeply concerned that going by what has happened on the election day, the election empire has taken our country back to pre-2015 era of election, where everything goes. To save our democracy and our country, the present election results must not be accepted by Nigerians and by all friends of Nigeria. We are therefore calling on the immediate suspension of the announcement of the results and the cancellation of the 2023 general election, presidential election across the country. New election day should be conducted as soon as possible in line with the Electoral Act and the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. If you cancel again and do another election, Kano is an NPP state. If you do it 10 times, Kano is an NPP state. You are not afraid to go and do rerun or whatever election in Kano. But we are talking about some of our members who have lost out in virtually every state of the federation. This is why we are talking about. So we cannot be so selfish because we have succeeded in one state, then we now sacrifice what has happened in all the vote that we are talking about in other states. 36 states and Abuja.
Aware, the election was replete with drama. The candidate, party chair for party. Our DG lost his bid to the Senate. They didn't call for fire and brimstone. They did not say the country are not moved because they have lost their home bases. These are true Democrats. And we call on anybody in this country who claims to be a Democrat to imbibe the tenets, the nuance, the dynamics and principles of democracy and to be a honorable loser. There can be honor in defeat. We have also seen how Governor Samuel Ortom, a Labour Party backer, lost his state of Benue to the APC. He also lost his bid to the Senate to the APC candidate. He hasn't called for the abortion of the process or for the Nigerian state to halt. So you and I know in good conscience that Obasanjo is only playing to the gallery to massage his own ego because we know the fundamental reason. Obasanjo has never played any noble role, political noble role in this country in a democratic process. In 2007, I was in office, in public office in Lagos as a spokesperson of the state. And Obasanjo mustered all the arsenal at his disposal to torpedo us in Lagos State. He brought in all the coercive agencies as the commander-in-chief to Lagos to steamroll us out of office. But by the will of the people, we prevailed.
Those were reactions from the opposition parties and indeed the APC there. But I must say that the reaction that you saw from the opposition parties came before the announcement of the president-elect. That was done yesterday afternoon, just before the final collation and the announcement early this morning. Meanwhile, President Muhammadu Buhari has also sent his congratulatory message to the president-elect Bola Ahmed Tinubu on his victory at the polls. In a statement by the senior special assistant on media and publicity, Garba Shehu, President Buhari has said that Tinubu's victory indicated that he is the choice of Nigerians to take them to the next level. He noted that the electoral process this time around had been unusual, pointing out that neither himself nor the president-elect won their home states, an indication that Nigeria's democracy is ripening. He did say, I congratulate His Excellency Bola Ahmed Tinubu on his victory, elected by the people. He's the best person for the job. I shall now work with him and his team to ensure an orderly handover of power. The election was Africa's largest democratic exercise in a region that has undergone backsliding and military coups in recent years. This election demonstrates democracy's continued relevance and capability to deliver for the people it serves. That's according to President Buhari, not from me. I quote the statement.
So much for us to discuss and
about.
analyze, and of course, joining us to do all of that, we already have our guests in the studio. Let's quickly introduce them. Ose Adeni is the Deputy Director Polling of the PDP Presidential Campaign Council. Good to see you, Mr. Adeni. Thank you so much. Appreciate it. Dr. Elijah Oyagwa is Nigeria Ambassador to Burundi. Is a member of the APC Presidential Campaign Council as well. Good to see you.
It's my pleasure. Thank you very much for having me.
Thank you so much. Maybe we should start with your preliminary reactions to the final figures. So of course, your party, Mr. Adeni, your party had walked out of the coalition center, vowing not to be part of it, making some demands, including cancellation of the election and a return to the starting blocks all over again. So, but it seems as if INEC didn't listen to you, went ahead, concluded the coalition, and made a return. Your reaction to that?
I feel a deep sense of shame, a deep sense of shame as a Nigerian, as a politician who took part in this process, a deep sense of shame for my friend, the INEC chairman. I know for him personally, the idea of leaving a legacy of free and fair elections was one thing he held very, very dear. You know, we would talk about Jega, for instance, and how in the immediate aftermath of the 2015 presidential elections, all over the world, Jega was receiving awards for the way and manner he conducted the 2015 elections.
Your party disputed that election too at that time.
My party conceded in 2015. We didn't dispute it.
Was it not in 2015 that we had Orubebe played out?
My party conceded. If you recall,
Okay.
we called...
President Goodluck Jonathan
Yes,
actually
yes.
conceded, yeah.
And like I was saying, because of the way and manner Jega conducted those elections and himself, he received awards and continues to be held in very, very high regard all over the world. I think the INEC chairman has written his name in the halls of infamy and shame. And when we talk about him and the conduct of these elections, it will not be in pleasant platitudes. And you know,
are you saying that he since in 2023 has completely overshadowed his all the applause we got in 2019, just 4 years ago?
I think the 2019 elections were flawed. We went to court. If you remember, it was the Supreme Court that resolved that matter.
Yeah.
And as flawed as the 2019 elections were, the 2023 elections were criminal in the way they were conducted. And I use those words with every sense of responsibility. The INEC chairman, with every sense of responsibility.
Yeah. When you say somebody as a criminal,
they were conducted in a criminal manner
by people,
by INEC.
So you can trace that act.
I hope it will be traced. And again, you saw Governor Okowa talk about morality. I'm not here to talk about morality. I'm talking about the willful subversion of the law. INEC and the INEC chairman fought for clauses in the Electoral Act that was signed by Buhari, one of which was that results will be transmitted directly from the polling units. Not just results and accreditation data captured by BVAS will be transmitted directly from the polling units. And it goes on to say that to collate results will be verified not just from hard copies by collating officers, but will be verified and checked against accredited data transmitted from the polling units and results transmitted from the polling units. So if INEC is telling us, I think this morning when we checked, there are about only maybe 100,000, 120,000 polling units results uploaded. So you have almost 50,000 polling unit results not uploaded. So if fundamentally INEC has failed to abide by the law, how it's a criminal exercise. They all took oaths to hold up the Electoral Act. And they have flaunted it, they have broken it. He was asked to stop and just upload the results so that you are in compliance with the law. And he refused to do that. I am from Uromi, Uzenema Primary School 4. My polling unit results are not what we saw on the day. If you go to the INEC website, you will see that the polling unit results have been altered. Again, I'm speaking facts. polling unit results that we recorded on Saturday the 25th were uploaded on Monday the 27th at 6 p.m. and had been altered. Uromi Awe Uzanema Primary School 4. That's one specific polling unit. So I wake up with a sense of deep shame for everybody involved in this exercise. I've been following the conversation online, and even in your studio, you feel a sense of despair and hopelessness, because there was so much hope that this Electoral Act and BVAS will, for the first time maybe since 1993, give Nigerians an election that is reflective and representative of their aspirations. And the INEC chairman let us down.
Okay, let me get your own reaction, Doctor. Of course, you're of the ruling party.